Clark County Today is presented by Connell Real Estate. Hire an agent, get a team. Learn more by visiting connellrealestate.com.
Hey everyone, Chris Brown here with your midweek video update from ClarkCountyToday.com. Well, the death toll blamed on COVID-19 rose by 2 today, with the deaths of 2 men, one in his 60s with underlying health conditions and another in his 70s with no known health problems. The county also added 38 new positive tests since yesterday. There are currently 137 active cases in the county. 38 people are in Clark County hospitals, 24 with a confirmed case, and 14 more awaiting test results. Well, the increased rate of COVID-19 cases in the county will push the start of hybrid learning for Vancouver Public Schools K-5 students at least until after the Thanksgiving holiday. The district is holding a series of forums with teachers and parents to try and explain how the hybrid model would work and how many students would plan to attend a physical classroom. A survey of families is also planned to start on Thursday. Now, the district has put together a series of videos for parents explaining how the hybrid process works and what is required, including daily health checks, masks, and physical distancing. Some educators have been pushing the district to set back hybrid learning until after winter break, but the hope is to at least have the earliest grades partially back in a building before the end of the year. For more details on the plan, head over to our full story at ClarkCountyToday.com. Well, the governor and Department of Health revised its guidelines for the return of high school sports in Washington, but fans of football, basketball, and wrestling are not feeling optimistic these days. Here's Paul Valencia to explain.
Good evening. The governor's office and the Department of Health came out with new guidelines this week regarding the return of high school sports. It is doing away with the phase structure. 2 things really stood out to me. The WIAA was told that these guidelines must be followed, and the WIAA nor the schools have the authority to implement more lenient policies. And bad news for basketball fans. The National Federation for High School Sports has basketball as a moderate risk. The state told the WIAA this week that basketball is high risk in Washington. WIAA sanctioned sports are given designations, and the decision to play is based on those designations along with how each county is faring in its battle with COVID-19. Clark County is in the high transmission rate, meaning more than 75 cases per 100,000 people. Only low-risk sports can play in this transmission zone. And high-risk sports such as football, basketball, wrestling can only play during low transmission zones. Basketball and wrestling are supposed to start practice in December. Will Clark County make those numbers?
All right, thanks, Paul. Something to keep an eye on for sure. Well, the suspect in Sunday's officer-involved shooting in Vancouver has been identified. Andrew Williams of Portland died Monday at the hospital. The 41-year-old was shot on Sunday night by 2 Vancouver police officers outside the Park Central apartments near St. John's Boulevard and T Street after they said he refused commands to drop a knife. Williams had reportedly broken into his girlfriend's apartment where he stabbed her and injured 2 other people before they were able to get him outside. The Clark County Medical Examiner says Williams died of a gunshot wound to the abdomen. The victims of the initial domestic violence assault were treated for injuries sustained during that assault and then released Monday from the hospital. The 2 involved Vancouver police officers have been placed on critical incident leave, and that investigation is ongoing. Meanwhile, 3 Vancouver police officers have been cleared of any wrongdoing in the shooting of William Abe, a 50-year-old homeless man who died in an encounter with police near Much like other locations across the county, the northwest corner of downtown Vancouver is suffering from the homelessness crisis. Today, we has lived there for the past 3 years. Joe Newsom has witnessed firsthand the tragic and often recurring consequences of an ever-growing homeless problem. Like many in the community, Newsom says he's hoping for a solution from the city soon, but he's losing confidence after numerous complaints and little response.
His name is Michael Pierce. When he got shot, I used to work just a couple of blocks away at the time, and they gave him plenty of warnings. I think they said it 4 or 5 times, drop the guns, put the guns down, and he refused to do it. So the police did what they had to do, and they ended up shooting him basically right where we're standing is where he dropped dead. Ever since that happened, I've been on edge. I don't sleep well. It definitely affected my life. It's something that I've never seen before. I've never seen anybody die before like that. during that time, the city was trying to make attempts to clean up the homeless. So what they did is they basically pushed all of the homeless people that were in Esther Short, and they pushed them all down to this block specifically. And they didn't want them down by the waterfront. They didn't want them down by Esther Short Park where the kids were and the families were. Completely understandable. But what happened is they pushed them all over into this corner of town, and immediately you could see the difference in the homeless that were in the neighborhood. There was an encampment surrounding the entire property, and they basically partied all night, every single night, right on the other side of the fence. The homeowners that lived there, the renters that lived there, started complaining to police, and the way they retaliated against them for that is they started throwing feces, bags of feces and bags of urine and needles and any kind of trash that they could find. They started throwing it over the fence. I'd say that the three biggest issues that surround the encampment down here would be noise, drug use, and violence. The screams of bloody murder from humans is something that I still can't come to terms with. There was a riot down here not too long ago. They got bottles of human feces and urine that they were smashing on the car, using them as weapons. The vehicle ended up racing through the crowd, trying to run people over. I am all for helping people and creating safe housing, even if it's free. But I think having a rule is, being sober. I don't think that's too much to ask. I mean, if the person's not willing to at least make one sacrifice or make one attempt to try to get help and try to get clean, then why are we helping them? Can we help someone that doesn't want to be helped?
Well, of course, Clark County Today continues to follow the local situation with homelessness. If you have a story idea, feel free to send us a message through Facebook, or you can email us news@clarkcountytoday.com. We'll be happy to look into it. Well, speaking of hot topics, the potential repeal of Senate Bill 5395, which required school districts in Washington state to teach comprehensive sex education at all grade levels, is sure to be one voters are paying close attention to this November. SB 5395 allows parents to opt their students out of the curriculum, but nearly 266,000 people signed a petition to let voters decide on the issue. Around 50 people gathered Tuesday at the Clark County Square Dance Club to hear from Heidi St. John, founder of the Firmly Planted Family Homeschool Resource Center and a key driver of that initiative petition. The Family Freedom Coalition of Washington sponsored the event titled Save Our Children. Their goal is to get people to vote no on Referendum 90, which would overturn the comprehensive sex education requirement, which they see as a plan to sexualize children at a young age. As we said, that topic is sure to spark plenty of debate. We invite you to do so via our social media channels on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And just a reminder, we do have a policy against vulgar language or abusive behavior, so try and keep your conversation civil. Easy enough, right? And that is your Wednesday check of the stories that we're following for you at clarkcountytoday.com. Again, story ideas and feedback can be sent to news@clarkcountytoday.com. For all of us, I'm Chris Brown. Thanks so much for watching. We'll be back with you again tomorrow.